السلام عليكم ومساء الخير. موضوع اليوم عن data visualization. أول شيء نشكر لكم حضوركم وعودتنا للدورات من WTM قسم القصيم. احنا متحمسين نرجع لكم دورات أكثر ومواضيع أكثر بإذن الله. راح نتكلم عن عدة مواضيع اليوم، أولهم بإذن الله data visualization بشكل عام. بس أول شيء راح نسأل عدد من الأسئلة عامة تقدرون تسألون أنفسكم قبل بداية الكورس أو قبل بداية التوك. Who do you want to share your data visualization to? What are their level of understanding or knowledge? What are you trying to accomplish? What is the story in your data that you're trying to share? And what is the main idea or the relationship between the data points that are you looking to show? كل هالأسئلة تقدرون تاخذون سكرين شوت وتسألون أنفسكم بعد التوك هل جاوبت عليهن وتقدرون تبحثون عنهن وتخصصونهن على الموضوع اللي حابينه أو الريسيرش اللي حابينه أو anything that you want to data visualize, you want to share and explore. أول شيء, what is data visualization? Data visualization is a general term that describes any effort to help people understand the significance of data by placing a visual context, patterns, trends, and correlations that might go underrated in a textual base. كيف in textual base؟ يعني مثلا عندنا data all in a text form that you want to use, maybe in hundreds, maybe in thousands. تتعدد المواضيع، تتعدد الأفكار. مثلا ندخل موضوع my graduation project, which was about review in comments. You have a lot of reviews, you have a lot of comments in any e-commerce site that you want to use up, you want to share with people in a better visual context. So what do? You use the visual concept in data visualization to the best of its form. So we will get into the forms and techniques at later slides, and we explore and recognize easier ways with data visualization technologies. This is the life cycle of data visualization. First of all, you data acquisition. A data acquisition can manifest in many forms, but the easier ones from ready sites that we can get into in later slides, or you can gather the data. So let's explore the life cycle of data visualization step by step. So this is the data acquisition. After you acquire the data, you clean the data by code or by manual cleaning. You can do that. And the step after that, it is data exploring, the relationship between the data that you can handle or manage or use up to the best of its advantage. Use it to the best of your knowledge بطرق تقدر تفيدك وتقدر تفيد المشروع اللي حاب تدخل فيه. After that, you analyze the data. Analyze can be interpreted in many ways, either in a technical side by using code in coding language like Python or R, or we can data analyze by using statistical analysis. That is another way that you can go about it. The last step is data visualization, which is the final step in your journey with data visualization. Your final presentation. How are you going to present all of this data to your audience or your fellow college students or your students as a college professor? Why is data visualization important? There's many ways that data visualization is important, but one of them, data visualization is a representation worth 1,000 words. How is that? Human brain can process visualization 60,000 times more than text, which is amazing thought think about. Um, Another way, because the human brain process information by using charts or graphs, visualization, large amount of large complex data, and easier than pouring it over spreadsheets or reports. So when you visualize a spreadsheet, it's better than given a better form for your text, better form for your numbers, better form for your business, that you can represent it in a visual way, especially because the brain processes it more than text. Data visualization is a quick and easy way to convey your concepts in a universal manner, and can be experimental with the different scenarios and by making a slight adjustment. Data collection. So this is the first step, and the first step and many steps that you can take in data collection. You can either go with two routes. The first one by online surveys, and the second one is data sites. What is data sites? We will get into that in the next slides. Okay, the online surveys, one of the most famous online surveys is Google Forms, which you can share with many people and they can give you their feedback. Google Forms is a better way than any ready-made data set for special kinds of projects or special kinds of reports when you need data that is non-existing on the internet. Like, for example, you want to take the statistics of diabetic patients and how many of them are suffering from side effects or side effect with special treatment. That is a way to take it. The data set would not be existed on the internet, so you can make one by gathering this information from your patients or your family. The second online survey, which is very famous survey, is SurveyMonkey. It is a very efficient and beautiful site to use and explore and share it with, and it can take a large amount of data and feedback. The data sites. So what are the data sites? Data sites can be many sites that have already made data sets with thousands or hundreds of results. The first one is Google Public Datasets. Google Public Datasets are Google list of all datasets on a page. Google hosts service that is called Google Cloud Platform, which is short for GCP. You can query using a tool called BigQuery to explore these datasets. You'll need to just sign up for a GCP account, and the first 1 terabyte of queries will be free, which is an amazing deal. The second site is the data.gov, which is an American site. It can allow you to download and explore data from multiple US government agencies, and data can range from government budgets to climate budgets, and the data will be very accurate and from a trusted source. You can browse the dataset on the data.gov directly without registering, which is a better form than other sites. The last one is Kaggle, which needs no introduction, but it's the best site for data sets that you can acquire. And lately, it was purchased by Google, which make it more efficient. It is a place where you can learn, practice, and find your data scientific or analytical skills. They have a ton of data, and that is open to the public and allow users to perform, to share codes and learn the best practices within data space, which is an amazing platform. So there are types of relationship between the data that you can connect. There are many types of relationship that you can acquire with data, but we will get into just two today. So relationships are a visualization method that shows relationship and connection between the data or show the correlation between two or more variables. So when reviewing data and placing it under the concept of data visualization uh, or simply a graph, it takes into account knowing the relationship between the variables to help you make a decision. Which graphs that you can choose. So relationships are very important to your analytical side of your project. So there are two kinds of relationships: relationships that shows connections and relationships that show correlation. On the statistical side, there are ranking, correlation, the diversion, distribution, and time series. So ranking. Here we have an example of ranking a month from January to December based on the number of watermelons harvested in a farm. This is a very simple example for ranking, which is an ordered of two or more subsets in a relative magnitude. Here is correlation, which is an indicate of how two or more variables might have positive or negative relationship or no relation at all. We still have the watermelon example, which the relationship between the number of melon harvested and the NPKA levels in soil distributed. Diversion. It is an illustration of how data points relative to each other, with emphasis on how far the data points differ from the mean. Distribution. It is an illustration of how the data are spread along with where they tend to center. So this is very important for distribution. Lastly, time series, which is a series of data that index in time, usually forecasting data. So here, monthly watermelon harvest provided from January 2010 to December 2018. So data visualization techniques. There are many techniques that we can get into, but first of all, there are charts, which is the easiest way to show the development of one or several data sets in a chart. So charts vary from bar charts to line charts that shows the relationship between elements over time, and the pie chart that demonstrates the corresponded properties between the elements or of the whole one. Um, so within a corresponded word among all data visualization techniques, charts seems to be the most dominant one. So we use charts excessively, and we have many forms of it. So let's explore one by one. So what is line charts? Line charts is one of the most visualized appearing way to demonstrate changes or impact over multiple periods of time. Lines allow you to add multiple elements and compare their performance within a specific time frame. There is the pie chart, which is there are many easy to follow when comparing multiple metrics, assets, and their performance. If you need to illustrate um, comparison, this is the way to go. Uh, that being said, you should avoid using them to display the important numeric values. Lastly, the bar charts. So bar charts usually are used the less significant, but very similar to lines and their performance over time. So the plot, we have many shapes and many visualization using plots, but plots allow you to distribute two or more data sets over 2D or 3D spaces to show the relationship between these sets and parameters on the plot. So plots are also vary from scatter to bubble, which are the most traditional ones, through when it comes to big data. So when you use big data, you can use plots which can show the significant change over time. Maps are widely used in different industry. They allow you to position elements on a relative objects and areas, geomaps and building plans, website layout, and amongst the most map visualization are heat maps. So heat map, what can it be done, or what can it do for you? Lastly or lately, it it was used to show the most heated places that have COVID-19. Dot distribution can be used also with Google Maps with directions between point A and point B. These are the most important ones, but there are many shapes for maps and many ways that you can use maps. But these are the most popular ones. Diagrams in matrix. I have a funny story with tree. When I was researching my uh, graduation project, I had difficulties reading the scientific papers that use them, which are very uncoherent, which I don't recommend. These types of tree. There are types of tree visualization that you can use, but these ones are not so coherent to your audience, so I don't recommend using them. And matrix. Um, so diagrams are usually used to demonstrate complex data relationships and links that include various types of data on one visualization. They can be heretical or multi-dimensional tree-like. Well, matrix is a big data visualization technique that can allow you to reflect the correlation between multiple constant updating stream. So you can use it with live data, which is the best use for in matrix. Lastly, we will talk about the color theory. So when you use any type of visualization techniques that we mentioned lastly, you can think about the color theory. So search about color theory before you begin any type of visualization, because color matter for any audience that you will show them. Colors have meaning to them, so use them wisely. So the most straightforward of our selected data visualization techniques. So selecting the right color scheme for your presentation assets will help you enhance your efforts significantly. So the principle of color theory will help you notably impact the overall success of your visualization model. That said, you should always try to keep your color scheme consistent throughout your data visualization. So when you use multiple visualization techniques, try to stay on the same color scheme, not changing it, not um, diversing being diverse in that section, because it will not help you. It will distract your audience in a matter that will not be helpful for you. Um, Using clear and consistent shades can be detrimental to your data, especially when you use positive and negative trends in your data. As a guide, people on whole use red, green, blue, and yellow. They can recognize it and be happy with it and understand it more. So we have two tools that we can use in data visualization. They are the most excuse me for 1 minute. So we have two kinds of tools that are the most popular used in data visualization. One is called Power BI, and the other is called Tableau. These are the most significant tools that can be used in data visualization. They are the most helpful and can be used in most of the data sets. This is an example of Tableau. A Tableau is a paid tool, so you can consider that, but it has a free trial if you want to try it for 15 days, and you can decide if you want to purchase it and use it on a consistent manner. I recommend it. It is a very good tool to use and help you with your visualization. The second one is dear to my heart. It is Power BI. It has two ways to use it. You can use the dashboard, not the dashboard, the desktop version of Power BI, and you can use the online version. But you cannot use the online version without the desktop, so they are linked. They are very helpful tools and can be very detrimental to your project. So one of them, you can use them, and they will help you a lot with your project. So what is the utilization of data visualization? Uh, Data visualization can be used for making data engaged and easily distribution, identify trends and outliers within a set of data, telling a story found within the data set. So telling a story is very important. It's not um, it's not just the visualization that you would have to um, pay attention for. Also, your report or your presentation, you have to look for that aspects. Your color scheme should be aligned with your presentation or your report. That is the storytelling that you want to do. Lastly, when you finish your report, you should look back, take a step back and look at your project. Did you tell your story? Did you get the points to your audience? Do they understand what you are trying to say? Test the report before you submit it. If you want to test it on friends or your family, and see how their reactions, see how comprehensive the report is. Uh, Always keep that in mind. Not just visualize the data and put it in reports without understanding the whole story, without telling the story gradually. that is an important also an important aspect. Reinforcing an argument of opinion or opinion. So when you have to argue something, you can also take in an advantage data visualization. You can have more success with your presentation or report when you reinforce your idea or your opinion, and highlighting the important part of a set of data. So your data is very important. Try to make it clean. Try to make it precise. Try to make it as relatable to your subject as possible, and it has merit, not just any data that you can use. Um, Lastly, I have best practices and tips for you. Um, there's a few more tips that can help you acquire and more effective charts when you use them, or graphs. First of all, when using time in charts, it should be run from left to right, horizontal axis. So keep that in mind. It has to be a horizontal axis. Avoid accessing lines or text or data that do not add value to your project. This is the second tip. Do not add something that doesn't have value to your project. If you don't think that it would bring any sufficient value to your project, delete it. Add labels instead of using more data. Add icons instead of data. If you think that the textual label is more than enough, you can delete it and replace it with an icon or a smaller label. Order data logically. Always have your data ordered in a significant way, and cite your sources at the end of your report if you want to submit it to anyone. Um, do you have any question until this point? أي سؤال إلى هذه النقطة؟ المعذرة، توي أقرأ إنه بالعربي. للأسف نصيحة. بعض الأشياء بالتقنية أو بالأفضل نقول بالتصور البياني ما راح تلاقي مصادر كثيرة بالعربي. نقدر أن نترجم لكم بإذن الله كل السلايدات للعربي بجهة أخرى، بس لازم نحط المصطلحات الإنجليش على جنب، لأنه للأسف المصادر العربية أقل من الإنجليزية. إذا أعطيتك مصطلح الآن بالمحاضرة تقدرين ترجعين أو التراك حقنا تقدرين ترجعين تبحثين عنه more efficient way. لذلك أعتذر إنه إذا ما كتبناه كله بالعربي أو إني أنا ما تحدثت بالعربي، بس نقدر نحط لكم السلايد بالعربي ولا يهمكم بإذن الله. أي سؤال من التولز أو شيء ما فهمتوه؟ It's okay. المراجع والأسئلة أو المراجع أقصد أو التولز كلها للأسف بالإنجليش. لذلك أنا نصيحة مني لكم اللغة الإنجليزية مرة مهمة. لازم أنكم تعززون لغتكم. لو أن لغتك ضعيفة حاول إنك تترجمين بمواقع تويتر مفتوح. إذا كان عندكم أي مشاكل بالترجمة أنا أيضا أساعدكم فيها بإذن الله. So getting back to our slides. Lastly, your turn to visualize your data. Although there are many more complex forms of charts and graphs for data visualization, the ones that we have listed for you are the most common, used, and universal known. Finally, worth noting that complex charts types that will eventually confuse your audience rather than inform them. So it's your turn to make your own charts and deliver your message in the best way. Um, again, في أي سؤال؟ Can you send your account? Okay. This is my account. ثواني أطلع لكم. the handle down on the last of the page آخر شيء بالصفحة، وبرضه بالتغريدة الأصلية مكتوب اسمي الهاندل حقي. صحيح. بإذن الله راح ناخذ هذا الشيء بعين الاعتبار بالدورات القادمة بإذن الله، وراح نحط مصطلحات الإنجليزية على جنب. Can you talk about color theory in short? Okay, color theory. What do I mean by color theory? So as you see here, most of my example here in watermelon, I cannot say this word. البطيخ كان نفس color scheme. So I mean this. يعني لازم تكون عندك a set of colors that you can use, but they have a significant aspect. يعني لازم يكون له معنى. يعني لازم تبحثين بالمعنى خلف اللون. هل راح يأثر على نظرة الشخص اللي قدامك بالنظرة اللي أنت حبته؟ يعني هل راح يخليه هادي؟ هل راح يخليه مستمتع بالموضوع؟ هل راح يوضح له إنه هذا الشيء إيجابي هذا الشيء سلبي؟ يعني بالألوان المعتمدة الآن، الألوان المعتمدة الآن مثلا نقول تحليل المشاعر. تحليل المشاعر عندنا 3 ألوان معتمدة، اللون الأخضر، الأحمر، والرمادي. الأحمر يعني متعود عليه بالسلبي، والأخضر على الإيجابي، والرمادي للأشياء المحايد. لذلك احنا نقول لك يعني بالفيجواليزيشن إذا بغيتي إنك تسوين charts or graphs or anything in data visualization لازم يكون عندك هذا aspect in your back of your mind. مو تحطين أي ألوان أنت حابتها، لو إنه راح يكون يعني شيء ممتع لك بالعرض، بس لازم إنه يكون له significance. ارجع للcolor scheme ابحثي بالموضوع اللي أنت حبته، إيش الألوان اللي راح تفيدك وإيش راح تأثر على your audience. هل جاوبت على سؤالك كذا؟ في أي سؤال ثاني؟ Thank you. Thank you for your time. Lastly, نشكركم على حضوركم. أنا ليدر من ليدرات القصيم، سعيدة بعودتنا للدورات بإذن الله. ترقبوا من حسابنا بتويتر، تابعوا حساب تويتر. راح نقدم دورات أكثر من منطقة القصيم، وبرضو في المناطق الأخرى راح ينزلون دورات جدا ممتعة وأفكار جديدة بإذن الله بالأسابيع القادمة. تابعونا على تويتر وبإذن الله راح تستمتعون. شكرا على وقتكم، وأعتذر إذا كان السلايدات مو بالعربي. راح نحط هذا الشيء بعين الاعتبار بإذن الله من الفترة القادمة، وشكرا لكم.